Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Brady Fantasy Football Podcast. Thank you all for being here. What an exciting week we just had. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what all is going on. So the playoff bracket, Jake moves on. He defeats Hyper69 to move on to the next round there. And Travis defeats But President by a close 6 points there to move on to the next round to take on Corey, whose space goes 520. The two Kuiper brothers will be fighting for the 5th place position there. And down in the losers bracket, we had Shane on the bye, who now faces Spoingle, which is my brother Mahase, 3-time champion winner of the Leggett League, back-to-back through 2020, in which he was then dethroned. And then we have, JT losing there, Josh H taking on Josh S here for the next round, as I fell to him by 2 points in a heartbreaking. I mean, we can't get it. So me and JT go into it for the 11th place to see who's going to be wearing the license plate bumper on our, or whatever it's called, on our car. So best of luck to you, JT. It's going to be a close one. We're predicted literally to have almost the exact same points at 1.24.12 and 124.11. So there's a 0.1% difference in the projections heading into Thursday night here. And so we'll see how that goes. But best of luck to everybody. We're going to take a quick look at the matchups just to kind of see what happened, along as what happened last week, just so we can see here. So last week, we'll go ahead and see if we can open this up. Pretty great start from Travion Henderson there, 36 points. Sutton fires back with 25. The real kind of ouchie boo boo here is my distrust in the Jackson defense, who I thought they've been doing great all year, but I thought versus the New York Jets, they might be a closer game versus San Francisco versus Tennessee, and I was completely wrong about that. They let me down big time there. The 49ers did. Don't know why I was trying to move my game plan around. Mike Evans' first game back. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. Don't know why I didn't trust him to get it done. Only regrets here. Luckily, I didn't have to play against Trevor Lawrence here, 46.3 points. Career game there. I don't know if it's actually a career game, but it felt like a career game. It was quite the performance there from Trevor Lawrence. On the bench, and then kind of going through it, I didn't do half bad. Stephon Diggs kind of let me down. On this side, Bo Nix was doing great. Drake May did his job. Chase Brown did his job. Barkley, doing good. McCaffrey, of course, did his thing versus Henry. So all in all, I tried my best. Travion Henderson really tried to carry the team, but he couldn't get it done this week because my team lost by 2. So congrats to Josh S. moving on to the losers bracket there. In the winners bracket, we got defending champ Jake taking on Hyper Kuiper, who ended up losing. I don't want to say pretty early on, but there was a pretty good lead early on there with how the games went. And so if you look at the benches, there's a lot more firepower here on this left-hand side with Jake. They left on the bench. But really, pretty close one, 101-91. If you look at all the other games, Jake wouldn't have beat anybody else except for Aaron this week. So he got a little lucky there in terms of how that played out. Lamar Jackson not really doing his job. I'd say underperforming for the expectations. Brock Purdy doing his thing. Jonathan Taylor doing all right. Again, he's not doing nothing, but 13 points isn't really what people are hoping from him. Jordan Mason letting him down. Olave getting 20. Christian Watson, Kittle doing his thing. You see how it is, right? It could have been a little bit more points if the start-sit was a little bit different decisions there for Jake, but he moves on regardless. So then we have Travis, of course, who defeats But President to move on. Pretty crazy game. Here came down to the last matchup of the night with Gainwell, on Monday versus Miami there. He had Boswell, and he had the Steelers D versus Gainwell, and Gainwell was having himself a game. It was getting pretty dang close there. I know that Travis was probably shaking in his boots for a little bit there, but that will be the end of the But President's season. Travis will go ahead and move on to the winners bracket and move on to the next round, and then down here in the losers bracket again, JT versus Spoingle. JT just really had, maybe his worst performance of the year, really, if it wasn't for the Baltimore defense doing 31 points, which is almost half of his entire thing. It would have been, really one for the books in terms of not going well. So didn't go great. He had some extra guys on the bench here that could have helped him a little bit more, but really rough week for JT. The 11th spot, coming into the end of the season here. a good week to be there though if you're at the bottom. I mean, hopefully he doesn't. I'm hoping he has another performance like that this week versus me, so I can take home the 11th spot and the number 2 draft pick for next year. That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm playing for. But that's that week. And now heading into this week, we've got me versus JT, like I said. I mean, Miami's a little scary. Judkins versus Buffalo, not too worried about. I mean, I look at some of this. I got Evans in now. Just picked up Parkinson not too long ago. Go up against Warren. Jefferson versus Henry. You know, hoping that on Sunday night the Baltimore just doesn't do much versus the Patriots, obviously. And then I actually got my Patriots with everything going on. I don't know if I want to trust one of the wide receivers. You know, it's basically just to roll the dice to see which receiver is going to go off that night. So I'll stick with the two bread and butter, Drake May and Travion Henderson there to get me through for the Patriots there. And then of course I can't not play Henry. You know, even though he's going up against my Patriots. I don't think he's going to do well, if I'm being honest, but it's Derrick Henry. What am I going to do? Start, Keenan Allen in there or something? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I got some time. I got some time to think about it before Sunday night. But that's that matchup. Now, we'll kind of go through the loser ones first, which sounds mean, but you know what I mean. This one, the projections here have Travis Swift coming away with the win, and I would have to agree. I mean, Devonta Adams going down. Flacco's not even a thing anymore. Garrett Wilson's out, so it ends up being, I would give the game to Josh S. there. In terms of Spoingle versus Shane, I would also give it to Spoingle here. He's a comeback king here towards the end of it. We'll see how it goes, of course. He's got Amon St. Brown. You look at some of the other matchups he's got going on. Jameson Williams on the bench. Interesting choice. No kicker here for Shane. Sure, he'll get that adjusted here, though, soon. And then Trey McBride is scary. Jalen Hurts is, he'll do his thing. And then Bijan Robinson's the other really scary piece here, right there. So I'd have to give this one to Mahase, though, Mr. Spoingle. I think he's going to take it. And then we got Peanut Butter and Jelly the long way.
Peanut butter jelly the long way. Peanut butter jelly the long way.
Versus Butt President over here. I'd probably have to give it to Butt President, but who knows? I mean, a lot of mind games going on here, I'm sure. Big brother versus little brother. So think I'm going to have to give it to Butt President, but we'll see. I mean, Gainwell, and he's got Warren, and if Warren plays, that could definitely affect Gainwell's performance here. So we're going to have to wait and see. Yes, he's got his, versus the Rams on Thursday night here. He's got Darnold and Charbonnet on the bench, but he's rocking the defense still, and JSN and Kenneth Walker, of course. So he's got about half of his Seahawks benched. We'll see how that goes. Patriots D versus Baltimore, I like it. Kicker, I mean, he's a good kicker, but, we'll see how much they can get. Bowers, of course. Waddle, of course. We'll see with Quinn Ewers being in there, how Waddle goes. But I have to give this one to the Butt President. I think he's going to come away with it. Now on to the real games. If we come back here to the league, we'll take a look at the standings. So there's the final four. Here's our final four, and we're going to take a look at the projections. Right now, Nate's projected to win over the defending champ. So this is the number one seed here versus the defending champ. What a game! And on the other side, we got Corey, the newcomer. First time in the playoffs versus Travis, who he's been here before and he's lost here before. So is this the year that he can pull it through? Like old man Rodgers, does he have one more in him? We're going to see. So let's take a little bit closer look at the actual matchup here. We'll start with this one. So Josh Allen versus Cleveland Browns. Whew, scary. In division game for Jordan Love. A complete question mark. I don't know how that will go. Devonta A-Chain versus Dowdle. I'd give it to A-Chain. Cook versus Williams. I'd give it to Cook. Rice versus Godwin. I'd give it to Rice. Lamb versus Brown. I'd give it to Lamb. Strange versus Ferguson. Probably give the one to Ferguson. Myers versus Reed. I'd give it to Myers. Boswell versus Aubrey. Definitely Aubrey. Just the number one kicker, man. That's crazy. And then defenses here, I like the KC versus Tennessee better. We'll see if they do any switches. They got solid benches here that they could pick from, like Harvey. Stevenson always seems to get points. Montgomery's been getting some touchdowns. So we'll kind of watch the space, of course. Right now we got Space Ghost projected to win, and I'd have to go with the projections on this one, where I think he's got the stronger team heading into it. But you cannot count out Nutless Bolts yet, because Josh Allen could go crazy. Jacoby Myers has been doing great, and they're up against Denver. Should be a close game. So you can't, fantasy football, anything can happen. And Josh Allen, I think, is the biggest question mark there. How this matchup will go, because this could be where the biggest difference happens in the quarterback space. But I'll give it to Corey. Best of luck, you two. See how it goes. And then, of course, we have Jake versus Nate, so defending champ versus the newcomer who came through and won the league in the regular season, got the first week bye. Lamar Jackson versus Baker Mayfield. I like the Baker Mayfield one way better than Lamar versus New England. Jonathan Taylor versus Javonte. Normally I'd say Jonathan Taylor, but I actually like Javonte Williams versus the Chargers there a little bit more. Gibbs versus Mason, definitely Gibbs. Metcalf versus Olave versus Detroit. I'm going to have to say Metcalf on that one. Egbuka versus Moore. I think Moore, I thought they were just saying, it's Romo Dunze's out. So that could be good for DJ Moore because he might get some more targets. I like Egbuka versus Carolina, but Egbuka, Godwin's back, Mike Evans back, McMillan's back. I mean, it's a target share thing. So I'm going to have to give that one to DJ Moore. Pitts versus Kittle. Can Pitts get another 42 points? We'll see. Kittle didn't do bad half bad either last week. He got like 25 points. So tight end matchup, definitely watch that space. Josh Jacobs, he's gonna do his thing, I'm sure. McConkey, he's gonna do his thing, I'm sure, versus Dallas. They'll carve him up. This space right here could be the deciding factor. Tight end to this flex spot there. And then Little versus Myers. I'm negligible, and then for the defenses, I'd have to give the advantage to Tampa Bay here, but just because Jacksonville seems to be doing pretty well. They're on a bit of a hot streak. Taking a look at the benches, benching Prescott versus his Chargers feels like a heart play, if I'm being honest. Lamar Jackson versus New England, I wouldn't do it. I'd be starting Dak Prescott for sure versus the Chargers because I think he'll do a better job, but I've been wrong before. Stafford versus Seattle. Smart, I think, sit. Jalen Wright, Pollard, Kamara, Pearsall, Higgins. If Higgins is going to play, that'd be a nice tool to have versus Miami, especially with Quinn Ewers being the starting quarterback instead of Tua now. I don't know who he'd replace. Maybe Egbuka. I might replace Egbuka for T. Higgins if I was them, but it is what it is. Kelsey on the bench with Mahomes out, I think, is a smart choice there. We're going to see. We're going to see. This is best of luck to everybody that comes down to this, right? We have this week and then the championship next week. So winners of these two games will move on to the championship, and that's where it gets just extra spicy. This week, my fate is decided on if I get last place or not. Best of luck to JT. May the best man win here in the 11th place game. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all listening. Thank you for joining this year. It's been a lot of fun. Let's play some football. If I don't talk to you, which I think I might, we'll see if I don't talk to you, and the next week is Christmas, I might be busy. I want to do a podcast. I'll probably do one for the final, maybe not that week, but the next week or something like that. We'll see. But Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you. I hope you have a great time with your families. Hope you enjoy some time off and watch some good football, and just have a blessed rest of your year. Bye-bye.